Ah, 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 ah. Oh, boo. Why, Warner Brothers? Why? Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another DCU review in my DCU marathon leading up to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And today, I am going to be doing a review on Suicide Squad 2016. So Suicide Squad 2016 is the third film in the DCU and the second film in the DCU to be released in 2016 after Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, and is directed by David Ayer, and it stars Will Smith, Margot Robbie, Jared Leto, Joel Kinnaman, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, Jay Hernandez, Cara Delevingne, Scott Eastwood, Adam Beach, Karen Fukuhara, Common, David Harbour, etc. Oh, and also cameos from Ben Affleck as Batman and Ezra Miller as The Flash too. And so, basically, the plot for Suicide Squad, yeah, this movie tells the story of this group of heroes, this group of, no, not heroes, but rather villains who are in prison for all the crimes that they've done, and so, and then this CIA agent named Amanda Waller decides to recruit the team in a deadly mission, in a deadly mission to pretty much save the world, and go from heroes to no go from villains to anti-heroes, basically villains that just do good stuff. So yeah, and so they must face off against the Enchantress, who apparently is June Moore, but cursed with witch-like powers and becomes evil, and yada yada yada. Who cares? Couldn't care less about it. Uh, yeah, maybe there actually is no story to this. So yes, I remember Suicide Squad. Actually, I remember all the hype that this movie has been getting, mainly because of how good the marketing was. I mean, we got this Comic Con first look trailer, which blew everyone's minds. And literally wowed us, and people were claiming this to be people were literally hyping this up to be one of the greatest DCEU movies of all time. Yeah, people were saying, oh, this could be one of the best, not only DCEU, well, because the DCU hasn't been like fully built, it's like only three of them, but rather people were expecting this to be one of the greatest DC movies in general. And considering the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm sure people would have wanted to see more of these superhero movies, anti-hero comic book movies, which is pretty much the main reason why I myself was hyped for this, because after how good Guardians of the Galaxy was, I was kind of on board with DC's version of Guardians of the Galaxy, another team of anti-heroes who were in prison, and then they had to like save the world in order for them to be free. I mean, in order to be free, yeah, that is basically what Suicide Squad is. And if you thought that that Comic Con trailer wasn't good enough, we literally got the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer. Yep, I'm sure you know which trailer I'm talking about. You know, the Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, let me go. Yeah. Yeah, fun fact, guys, no joke. This was the song this was that trailer for Suicide Squad is actually what introduced me to the Bohemian Rhapsody song. I was like, wow, this song's amazing. What is this? And then later, eventually, I figured out it was actually Bohemian Rhapsody, which is considered to be one of the greatest songs of all time. And so, of course, yeah. And I really do like the second trailer too. Yeah, maybe it is the weakest trailer of them all. I mean, it did start out really great, especially with that song. Oh, you don't own me. Like with that. Oh, tell me what you do. Yeah, that song. Yep. And then later on, it kind of became like, oh, it, yeah, whatever. But yeah. And when the movie came out, yeah, people were hating on this movie. People were saying that this movie is a huge disappointment and it sucked and it doesn't live up to the hype. And I was like, no way in hell that this movie's gonna be bad. That there's no way. I was like literally in denial. But when I saw the movie for myself, I honestly thought the critics were right about this movie. My God, I said bad. And I mean, like, now, I didn't hate the movie when I first saw it in theaters. I just thought it was like, okay, yeah, I could expect it better. I can see the hate for it, but yeah, I expected a lot more from this movie. But the more, but but yeah, just take note, I was not a critic at the time. I was just some casual moviegoers who just rates movies or ranks movies, but doesn't really do it, but doesn't really like give any explanation. I'm just like, wow, I love this movie. I love this more than this movie, and I give it this movie because of just like this, and like I don't really explain my reasons why. So yeah, but as a critic now, I can totally say that this movie freaking stinks. Yeah, this movie is trash. Now, yeah, Suicide Squad 2016, or as I like to call it, Garbage Squad, because that's the word that best describes this movie. It is garbage. Okay, complete garbage. Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't go as far as putting this as one of the worst, the absolute worst comic book movies of all time. It's not even in my top 10 of that list. This honorable mention for sure, honestly. And there are worse comic book movies out there. People say this is the worst DCEU movie. Well, I can name one movie that is worse than this Justice League 2017 or Justice League. Ugh. And I will say that there are some minor redeeming qualities I can say about this film. Some minor good things that don't, although they don't really have anything to do with the movie though. So they're like more of just nitpicking the good stuff from it. But yeah, first of all, I love the song Heathens. Yeah, all my friends are heathens, take it slow. Yeah, Heathens is amazing. I love Heathens. It is easily the best song from 21 Pilots. Did I get that name right? Haven't listened to them in a while, honestly. So yeah, I mean, Heathens, it is an amazing song. I love this song. It is just so catchy and it is just so much fun. Every time I hear this song, it just puts a smile on my face. And I gotta say, this is probably my top 5 favorite songs of 2016. Right up there with Try Everything, a bunch of Moana songs, and 95% of La La Land songs. Yeah, it is just right up there. Right up there. I like the end credits. I think it's very cool. It's very creative with the colors and all that stuff. Like when the end credit plays and then you hear the hidden song playing and then you see a bunch of colors just bursting at you. Yeah, that is hands down the best part of this entire film. Just one of the most creative, one of the coolest end credits I have ever seen. Period. It is just so good, man. But I mean, there are some moments where I can tolerate. It's like, okay, it's not bad. It's just whatever. Katana is not a bad character by any means. She just feels kind of forgettable, but I wouldn't really say she's as bad as some of the other members. Karen Fukuhara does try with what she's given, but her talent just doesn't feel. But her talent just doesn't feel. I don't know what word to use, but when you compare it to her performance in the boys, and even though I have not seen the boy and the heron yet, yeah, definitely that performance too as Lady Heaney, yeah. Comparing her performance in this one to those performances, yeah, she definitely had like, I don't know what word to use. I still don't know. By the way, just want to mention Boy and the Heron real quick because it has Karen Fukuhara in it. Yeah. Now, Yeah, I know it is currently out in the US and people are talking to death about this movie. It's actually making a lot of money at the box office. If you're wondering when I'm gonna see The Boy and the Heron, well, the movie I could have saw the movie last week, but it got delayed in my area. It got delayed to December. It got delayed to January 8th in my country, so I'm gonna be seeing this movie on my birthday. Yeah, I'm gonna see Boy and Hair on my birthday. But okay, anyways, moving on from this. But yeah, anyways, now let's get into everything that went wrong about this movie. And oh boy, I can give some endless negatives about this movie. Some I can just point out as much flaws as I can. Where do I even get started with this? Seriously, where do I even get started with this stuff? First of all, let's take a look at an aspect of the film that I find to be extremely overrated. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Now, I will say this. For the longest time, I always liked Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and thought she was a standout. I was like, yeah, this movie was my introduction to Margot Robbie's character. And yeah, and I was like, hey, this actress is great. I wonder what she does next. But when you look at some of Margot Robbie's other like brilliant performances, like Wolf of Wall Street, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Babylon, Barbie, Legend of Tarzan, even though that movie was and even like even the other movies that feature Harley Quinn, you know, like Birds of Prey and The Suicide Squad 2021, where she was amazing in those films. In this film, honestly, this is her worst and only bad performance she has given. Holy crap, Harley Quinn in this movie was annoying. Like, she wouldn't just shut up. I just literally, I mean, she literally wouldn't stop annoying people. Like, I get maybe Harley Quinn is supposed to be annoying, but she never annoyed me once in Birds of Prey and the other Suicide Squad movie. She never annoyed me. Yeah, in this movie, like, all she does is just crack jokes. All of it crack jokes, and it's not even funny. Yes, Margot Robbie does try, but the overall but it just feels wasted. It just feels wasted. Yeah, none of the characters in this movie are any good in the slightest bit. They're all just boring, bland, one-dimensional. They're just a bunch of nobodies. They have no character development. The team doesn't even have a good chemistry. I don't care about their chemistry together. Whether it's Will Smith's Deadshot or that Mexican guy who I already forgot the name, Killer Croc, Boomerang. Yeah. Who cares about those characters? Like, I don't care about them. They don't. It is not very good. Oh yeah, and also this is one of Will Smith's worst performances. I mean, I'm sure there are worse performances than this. I can name a few, like After Earth, but Will Smith's movie is terrible. Like, he looks so bored. He looked like he looked like he didn't want to be here. And yeah, same goes for the other characters. And I'm sure I forgot to mention a few of them because of just how forgettable they are. Even Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. One of the more tolerable aspects of the film, of the film was a little wasted. If you look at his other performances, especially in the recent Silent Night movie, which I will review at some point. But yeah, and they completely wasted Viola Davis's talent as well. I mean, Viola Davis is one of the most critically acclaimed, not critically, but rather acclaimed actresses of all time. Like, in this modern age, like, people love Viola Davis, but here, like, she is just pulling her ass out. She looks so bored out of her mind. Yeah, so bored out of her mind. So yeah, the performances in this movie would range from over the top to boring. There's not a single performance in this movie that I felt natural. Oh boy, but we get to the two worst characters in the movie. The two worst castings as well. Cara Delevingne as Enchantress and Jared Leto as Joker. Now, while I will say that Enchantress is one of the better aspects of the film due to how dark and scary she is, she's just completely ruined by the casting choice. Cara Delevingne is equally as much of a ridiculous casting choice as Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Although I take Cara Delevingne as Enchantress any day over Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. At least she isn't intimidating, but it just feels like a joke when you see literally Cara Delevingne like being the Enchantress. It's just so laughably bad. Like wow, wow, like. But yeah, Jared Leto as Joker. Now, I will admit, Joker is actually. Remember when I said that the main reason why I was hyped for this film is actually because of the fact that I wanted to see more of these anti-hero superhero team up movies after Guardians. Well, technically, the main reason as to why I was hyped for this film, the real main reason, is because of Jared Leto's Joker. Yeah, yeah, Jared Leto's Joker is an embarrassment. He is a disgrace to Jokers. He is by far, and I mean by far, the worst character in the movie, the worst Joker, the worst Joker actor of all time, and even the worst Jared Leto performance. Yes, I'm going that far. I would take his performance as Morbius any day over his performance as Joker. Like, I hate to put Joker's name in vain because Joker's seriously one of the greatest villains of all time. Like, my love for the Dark Knight is actually the reason why I was hyped for this film, because I was like, ooh, the Joker's gonna be in this. Yes, sign me up. But they literally destroyed his Joker. He's not intimidating. I don't get his character. I mean, which side is he even on? And Jared Leto just like gives a performance where he seems like where he seems like he actually legit does not understand the Joker. He does not understand the character. Oh my god. And yeah, I haven't even gotten into the more major reasons as to why this sucks. The characters are just the start of it. Yeah. This movie is one of the most boring superhero movies I have ever seen in my life. It is just incredibly boring and just a snooze fest. There was barely a scene that kept me engaged, that kept me excited. Like, how boring can this be? Personally, the first half of the movie is basically about these guys being in jail, and then we get this horrendous editing sequences of flashback scenes to like how they're villains, and oh boy, we'll talk about the villain that they're editing in a bit. Yeah, and then yes, they get out of prison, and you might think, okay, it's picking up now. I think it's gonna do something. No, instead, most of the movie is basically just these characters wandering around the city, just simply wandering around, doing nothing, and just getting me bored. Yeah, here's pretty much how the structure of the film after the first act is like. They walk in the city, they spot bad guys, they shoot the bad guys and fight them off. They walk again, they go inside a building. More of these bad guys come in and fight, and you know, they just walking and just roaming around the city. And then this big final battle, which is laughably bad. Yeah, the final battle is hilariously bad. Yeah, like there's seriously no logic in that action scene. Yes, I would have forgiven that forgiven that unrealism if the action scene was actually good, but this is not a good final battle. So basically, what the problem with this action scene is just the fact that it's stupid. I mean, and not in a fun way. It wasn't even entertaining. I mean, first of all, Enchantress is an evil witch. I mean, a superpowered witch. Realistically, she would have literally destroyed the entire team in 1 second. Like, she's supposed to be that far, but no. Instead, we just get bad guys, with literally no powers fighting off against the Enchantress. And it is funny because, like, they think they're stronger than the Enchantress, but the Enchantress is just basically like stronger than them. So it's really. Sorry about that. It's really dumb to see just people with just guns and swords are fighting off against an evil witch who is really impossible to defeat. I mean, you literally need Superman to fight off the Enchantress, not the Suicide Squad. Not the Suicide Squad. Yeah. And of course, let's get to the writing and pacing. Yeah, I already talked about how non-existent the story feels because the plot is basically just these characters, seeing their lives in prison, roaming around the city, shooting and slashing, shooting bad guys, and then just continue walking like as if this is a like as if this is trying to make us think this is Last of Us 2.0. Well, it's not gonna be Last of Us. It ain't Last of Us. It ain't Last of Us. And the pacing of the movie is atrocious. Seriously, not one critic would watch this movie and not point out the terrible CGI. Like what? All no 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 no, not CGI, but rather pacing. Yeah, no, editing. Yeah, it is just quick cuts after quick cuts with no actual rhyme or reason. Up to the and it goes up to the point where you could actually miss out on a detail just for these constantly cut out scenes. Yeah. Um. Okay. What else is there to say? And yeah, I guess. You know what? Screw it. I'm done. Yeah. So overall, yeah, I hate the Suicide Squad 2016. This movie is an abomination on every single level. At least this movie has a great end credits song as well as a great great end credits with an amazing song, Heated by 21 Pilots. This, I mean, those are just positive things that actually have nothing to do with this movie because the rest of the movie is just a steaming pile of garbage that is incredibly boring and slow. And like the barely anything happens in the story, and it literally wastes talents. Like it wastes potentially great actors slash actresses like Will Smith, Karen Fukuhara, Viola Davis, and especially Margot Robbie. Yeah, these guys that serve better, and I'm glad they actually do get better as of this decade. So with that said, I'm going to give Suicide Squad 2016 half star out of 5. Horrible movie. Probably one of the more generous half stars, one that can possibly go up, like one that possibly comes close to getting an extra point for it. But yeah, based on just how I feel alone, it deserves that rating. So as for my review of the Suicide for no not why do you keep saying the Suicide Squad. So as for my review of Suicide Squad 2016, what are your thoughts on the film? Do you hate this film as much as I do? Do you actually enjoy and defend this movie? Or are you actually in the middle where you actually find this to be a mixed bag? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and and stay tuned for my review on Wonder Woman. So yeah, bye guys.